So this is a video that was nominated to do by THANATOS Prime. My top figures closest to my spark. Now I might do this in two parts. This part is going to be focused on two figures that I got from a double pack. And I think I might do another sort of similar part to this video in the future. With some very special figures that's also close to my spark. So stay tuned for that. But the figures that are close to my spark, again, I was nominated by THANATOS Prime to do this, and I will be nominating 3 people at the end of this video to also do this, so stay tuned for the end of the video. But it was a double pack of the 2007 movie Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. I got these from, I think it was August. It was a double pack, as I said, and these were my first... I think they were my first figure in this sort of scale. I'm very positive that these are like my first Voyager and Deluxe figures. I had, growing up, I had Legends figures, I had sort of like the Activators sort of figure scale, but I always wanted to get like the Voyagers, the Deluxe, the Leader class figures, and my parents always said when I get a bit older, because I was still like 8 years old, when I get a bit older I can get the bigger figures. And I remember walking into Argos one day, picking up the catalogue, and they had these two in store, and yeah, wow. I think that before I got this, I think that I actually got the I think it was called the Evolution of Bumblebee, which had the battle damage version of a new Camaro and the clean copy of the old Camaro in the film, because the standards release was, this is the new Camaro that was clean, and the old Camaro, the 19... I always forget what year it is, but the old Camaro in the first film that Bumblebee scanned, that was always the battle sort of damaged figure in the toy line. The bit just fell off Bumblebee right now. But yeah, in the Evolution of Bumblebee 2-pack, it was the other way around. The old Camaro was clean, and the new Camaro was battle damaged. And I think originally I picked it up, and the new Camaro Bumblebee broke. I think the ball joint on his arm snapped off. So I returned that. I know there was two versions. There was the Evolution of Bumblebee, which had the old and the new Camaro. Then there was another one with the, I think it was the Universe Bumblebee, the G1 figure. But I never saw that either. So I ended up getting these two, and wow, these two have so many memories. Like, this is my Optimus Prime, and this is my Bumblebee. You know, despite having the Studio Series Optimus, and how many Bumblebees do I have in the Studio Series? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 Studio Series Bumblebees, and I've got 1 Last Night Bumblebee right there. I've got 3 Bumblebees, 3 Bumblebees there. I've got 1 there, 2, 4 there, 5 on that shelf. They're moving Bumblebees, like Deluxe class. So yeah, but despite having all of them, I mean, I've got even more Primes, but despite having all of them, these are my 2 figures, like my definitive... Well, I won't say definitive, but the original. These are the original figures. And these 2 figures were in my original stop motion. So my very first stop motion that I ever did, my original series, these were the figures that I used. And I had the same for the other figures, like the first movie. So I had the Voyager Ratchet, which is in the background there. I had the Deluxe Jazz, Long Arm, Thundercracker, my Nightwatch Optimus Prime, and that I used as Ultra Magnus because I never had an Ultra Magnus toy. So, yeah, and then, like I said, this Bumblebee here, this was my original Bumblebee. And I loved how it had the gimmick on here, so you can split the weapon, the gun, and it becomes like a little sword. I actually did this in the End of Days with Cliffjumper fighting Darksteel. He was doing some rolling around, like Cliffjumper's right there on the shelf, and he was rolling around on Byzantium's deck, avoiding Darksteel's punches and swings and kicks. And then he got his blaster, and and transformed it into the sword and sliced Darksteel's Achilles heel. So I had to incorporate that in there somewhere, that this sort of gimmick, because it's a classic. And this Bumblebee's just, I mean, just look at him. He's just so classic. He's so, even the back was clean. Like, look at the back. The back on that. I mean, there's no kibble. I mean, this, but I mean, that just adds to the look of it. There's no kibble. It's perfect. And I loved how this Bumblebee had like the sort of the front of the chest here where you could move it up and down, and because a lot of Bumblebees had this sort of flat chest where it's all kind of in line like that. Whereas with this one, you could push these pieces up and really angle them however you wanted to, replicate what it looked like in the movie. And like I said, this Optimus Prime, yeah, so many memories with this Optimus Prime. And the funny thing is, I'll let you do a little spot the difference here. So this is his left side, and here is his right side. Yeah, that's what's missing if you didn't spot the difference. So I remember once I went to the doctors, and I thought, let's bring a Transformer figure. And I remember thinking, oh, what happens if I lose the figure, or if I drop the weapon and lose it forever? And I think even my mum said, don't take the figure out because you'll lose something. And of course, as a 8-9-year-old kid, no, I wanted Optimus Prime to come into the doctors with me. So I took him into the doctors. Optimus did his job and looked after me. And I got home and I was like, when did that disappear? Yeah, these things popped off so many times. Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not glad that it's missing, but it's given this figure its own signature. Like, he's got this panel and he's missing that. It's like not a scar, but like a little symbol almost. Like, he's missing this part of himself. Like, this has its own story attached to it. And it's become like a kind of thing with this figure, how he's always had this part, and he's, for the past 13, 14 years, he's not had this part. And it's always been like I said, a little story for me of, he's not complete, but that's a great thing about him. He's got a story behind him, and it's his sort of, his symbol that he wears. That's just me, but just Optimus and Bumblebee, just, if I could keep, I mean, every figure for me has a meaning. Every one is special. I know a lot of people might think, that figure's too small, that figure's, his wrist doesn't move, and that figure's too big. Everyone gets nitpicky. I mean, I like them all. But if I could pick at least 2 figures to take to my grave, it would definitely be these 2. And a couple of others, because like I said, I have a part 2 to this. And the figures in part 2 are probably even more nostalgic than these. Now, these are, I hold these very close to my heart. These are, they are special to me, but they weren't my original Transformers. Hint, hint, what's in part 2. And these will always have a special place in my heart because they were my first sort of bigger scale of Transformers figures. This is what got me to get Ratchet, the Megatron, the Starscream. Although I didn't really get Starscream, I got him pre-owned, incomplete. But again, he's got his own story behind him. And these are very special. And the thing is, I mean, yeah, these might feel a little old, they might feel a little brittle, but the thing is with these figures is they're tough. These are durable figures. A lot stronger than the figures we have now. Like, I mean, some of the Studio Series or some of the Siege, especially Earthrise, you pick them up and they break out the packaging. But these, damn, these are These are made of sterner stuff. Back in my day, we had figures that could hold together. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Just this little spotlight on these two figures. I've decided not to like kind of edit this video. I don't want to put music in it. I don't want to cut it and make, you know, cuts in the video like I usually do. I kind of want to give this video its own sort of different, sort of just raw footage of me just showing you these figures, because these are two figures that I really hold special to my heart. Like I said, if I could pick a couple of figures to take to my grave, these would be them, as well as the figures in part 2. But don't get me wrong, like I said, every other figure that I have in my collection, they all are special to me. I don't necessarily hold certain ones above others, but I just look more what's more nostalgic or meaningful to me. For example, if I just bought a figure today, randomly, like from the store, and I compared it to this, I would like both. I would like both figures. Both would have great aspects about them, and I would love them both equally. And in 10 years' time, the new figure that I bought today, that will have special meanings attached to it. But as a nostalgia factor, this one hands down would beat the new one. That's sort of where I'm going with. I don't hold them high above each other, but I hold them more in nostalgic sort of value. So these are two very special figures for me. I know we keep saying it, but really they are. I remember the package that they came in, how Optimus was here, Bumblebee was here, and I was looking at them in the plastic prison box, whatever you want to call it. I was looking at them and just thinking, this is the start of something great. And to this day, I still use these in stop motions. I don't use them in the main universe that I do, because that's mainly for screen accuracy and realistic. Like I use the Battle Blade Optimus, the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, although that was years ago. I'm getting him to scan a new form now, so he's more accurate. And then like for Ratchet, I don't use a Void Ratchet anymore. I use a Deluxe Ratchet from Dark of the Moon. So I'm trying to go for like more accuracy, sort of scale based and more accurate looking robot modes. But these will still be used in stop motion. Like these are the Christmas specials. Like this Bumblebee in the Christmas specials. He was in the old ones, like the 2011 to 13 or 14, and then he just left. And the new cast came in, and then he came back I think about 2 years ago. Because he had enough of this guy's Christmas partying. Yeah, he's back in the Christmas special now. He took like a 5, 6, 7 year vacation from this guy. And what I do in the Christmas specials is I flip this sort of story. So this Optimus, rather than him being heroic, looking off into the distance behind him, thinking, we need to protect the Earth. We must save the humans from the Decepticons. All he wants to do in Christmas is party. He just wants Christmas. I mean, he's Santa Claus now. If that doesn't make sense, then watch the Christmas specials from start to finish. He just wants to party Christmassy hard. That's Christmassy hard. What am I talking about? He just wants to party hard at Christmas. He's literally the biggest Christmas fan ever. And that's kind of what I like about him. Like, he's a sort of clumsy sort of character. And I'll still use him in my stop motions forever. And these are, yeah, I can't really say in words of what these sort of guys mean. So I'm just going to kind of like end the video and sort of say my nominations. So my first nomination goes to Running Fox Productions. So tell me, a couple of figures that are close to your spark. Maybe you have one, maybe you have 3, 4. Pyroclastic Dog, please tell me figures close to your spark. And input reviews, let me know your figures that you sort of hold close to your spark, whether that's a custom you've done, or your very first Transformer, or just one that, maybe someone's bought for you, that you really hold nostalgic high with it. But yeah, let me know. These are mine, and what's yours? So I'm going to end the video, and please like, comment, rate, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at TF5000. And I've also got a big Transformers haul coming up very soon on the channel. So please stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think, and I want to say thank you again for the end of day support. We are almost at, I think it's 2,400 views on the end of days. So big thank you for that. But yeah, please like, comment, rate, share, subscribe, all the good stuff, and thank you for watching. Please, to the people who I've nominated, let me know your figures, and have a great day. Till all are one.